How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Positive Mindset Podcast, where we come together to raise our vibration, lift our perspective, and build a positive mindset. My name is Henry, and I'm so thankful to have each and every one of you here today because in this episode, we're going to go over something so specific but so powerful that if you apply it, you can actually change your entire experience. But before we get started, we're going to take a few moments to slow down, zero in. We're going to take some deep healing meditative breaths to help us align on the frequency that we want in our lives. So pick a word. It could be love, joy, happiness, abundance, whatever frequency you want. And we're going to take a deep breath in. And as you're breathing in, you're going to say that word over and over and over again. Really charge yourself up with that energy. And then as you're holding your breath, visualize yourself doing something in that frequency. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath in. And out. We're going to take another deep breath. This one's about alignment, about getting ourselves in receiving mode so we can receive the message that we need to hear to get us in that positive perspective. So just imagine that you are surrounded by the most healing, uplifting energy that's meant specifically for you. It could have a certain color, a certain taste, a certain smell, however you imagine it. And when you breathe it in, it's going to charge you up. It's going to break down the negativity, the blocks, the weight, everything that's just been holding you back. And once you exhale, anything that no longer resonates with you will leave you and you'll be in a more positive state. So let's go ahead and take another deep breath in. And out. So perspective in life is extremely powerful. How you see things will really dictate how you receive them yourself and how you move forward, because it's never the event, it's how you react to it. And something that I've recently, I think, understood is really helpful. It'll help you apply your attention to the right place. If you're frustrated in your current environment, maybe it's the people that you're around, maybe it's your job situation, maybe it's your relationship, whatever it is. If you're here and you're talking to it, you're saying, I want something different. I want to move. I want this promotion. I want this new job. I want to expand in something that I know I'm supposed to be in. But for some reason, it doesn't change. Then you start getting frustrated. You're frustrated with the job. You have emotion towards the thing because you feel like it's the thing that won't change. What if there was a different way to look at it? What if everything that's around you, the job, just the experience in general, whatever it is to you, if everything that's around you was non-changeable because it's an output, it's the actual creation. You need to talk to, and you actually get to talk to, the input. Now, whether you're going to classify this as the universe, as God, as your higher self, as the energy above, frequency, whatever it is to you, the input is what you need to be paying attention to. You see, the universe is everything. God is everything. The energy is everything. The law of attraction says like attracts like. And I think that understanding is actually limited. I think like is like. So the universe is witnessing you, and that's the input. It's witness of you. How you present yourself, how you think, how you move, how you act, how you believe is what inputs into the universe. And then the experience that you're having in front of you is the output. So if you're trying to change the output, you could never change it. You have to adjust the input, which is you. That's why the journey is always inward. It's never outward. If you're looking at the things in front of you and you're trying to fight with them, it'll never change. It's why the war on anything only creates more war. You have the war on drugs. It's going to expand the war. You have the war on poverty. It's going to expand poverty. The war, the attack, the focus on the thing doesn't change it. You have to always go to the creation of the thing, which is you. You are both a powerful observer and creator of your experience. That's the order. So the universe, which is the extension of you, is observing you. How you act, how you think, how you move, how you believe is what will create the future that you wish to experience. It's why self-talk is so important. You have all these subconscious beliefs. You have all these thoughts, these beliefs about yourself that were put on by your parents, by the people that you grew up with, the people that you went to school with, whether it was your classmates, your friends, or the teachers, the influences. They programmed things into you. You have to work hard to be successful. Rich people still. Greed is bad. Greed is good. You can do anything. That's not for you. People from this area never achieve that. Those people are bad people. These people are good people. All of these beliefs, all of these things are put into your mind, which your mind is the closest to your observation. You observe through your mind. So you're observing these words, which these words represent frequency. We just perceive them as words. Then you continually pump them into your mind, and then you show up every day and make them true. With your actions, you reinforce it. You look around at the people around you, and they do the same thing. They're reinforcing what's possible, what's true, what's the reality. And so your external circumstance is the output of that. Give yourself the power to be more. Give yourself the authority to be the author of your experience and know where you have to point that to. The universe, which is always watching. If you say to the universe, if you say to yourself, if you say to God or whatever it is, that I'm going to do this no matter what, and then you show up and do it no matter what, then you're proving to the universe that you're that. It's that simple. I remember a moment in my life where I did this, and it was the first time I did it, and I never understood why. It just happened. And it's become more and more powerful from that moment. And it was with this podcast. I used to do it in my car. I didn't want anybody to hear me. I didn't want to do it at home. I was distracted. I just would go in my car. I would take my phone and I would record it into my phone. I had no mics, nothing. I just recorded my phone. Of course, it was a phone. These phones are expensive. They're good quality, but that's how I started. And one day I was driving to I think it was Ingles. I was driving to Ingles, which is a grocery store in the area. And when I got in the parking lot, that's when I was going to finish my recording. So I was recording the whole time I was driving. I park, I finish my recording, and for some reason, I just was connected with God so much that moment. And I said, I'm never going to stop this. If I ever stop, it's because I'm dead. And in my life, I've never made a commitment like that. I've never made a promise. I've never made a just statement of fact of what I'm going to be to the universe. And I don't know why I did it. I just did. And from that moment, I've never stopped. I've continued to revisit my mind over and over every single day. And it's come out as a podcast. There was times where I was doing 2 episodes a day. But when I went back to sometimes like 3 episodes a week like I'm doing now, it doesn't mean I don't do the same practice. I'm just not recording something every single time. So every day I've showed up as that. So what do you think the universe thinks about me? It's changing in my life now because now the universe is presenting me as this, as the knowing. And people see me as this now, but they wouldn't have seen me at this if I didn't keep showing up for the universe, if I didn't believe that this is who I am no matter what. The challenge then starts to expand. If you're going to be this positive mindset individual, if you're going to believe these things, if you're going to have these sayings, these thoughts, it'll get challenged when you go to work and everyone's talking about this regular stuff. And then you want to talk about how time isn't real or whatever it is that's your frequency. When you start to share it and it's so different than everyone does, will you back down? Will you speak the way they speak? Will you act the way they act? Because the universe is watching. Are you only conditionally something? Because if you're only conditionally something, you'll never receive it. You'll stay in the state of absence of it, in lack of it. That's why we don't change the thing. We become the thing. If you're going to be a billionaire, you better be one now. And I don't mean that you have $1 billion in the bank. I mean, you operate as the version of you that you'll be when you have the billion in the bank. Wherever you're going to bring you there. The universe is watching you now to confirm who you are. You can change it at any moment. You can start thinking differently. You can start speaking differently. You can start acting differently at any moment. And the world around you will judge you. They don't want you to change. If you start changing, if you start growing, if you start expanding, then they have to look at you and see everything that they're not. They have to look at you and try to rationalize in their head, well, I thought someone from my area couldn't become rich. I thought people from my background couldn't choose peace. I thought this was how it had to be always. So they're going to get mad at you because they want you to go back to what you were. Because if you change, then that means they have the power to change, and nobody really wants the power. That's why we give it to everything else. It's easier to allow something to happen to you and think that's just how it is. It's harder to take the perspective of everything happening for you. Now you know. You know that if you want something to change, it's you that has to shift. It's you that gets to shift. You know it now. You can't say you never heard it. You just listened to a podcast where if this wasn't right for you, you could have turned it off. But you're tuned into this frequency. I didn't find you. You found this. You didn't randomly come across this. You've been making shifts. You've been reading things. You've been looking things. You've been thinking about things differently. And then all of a sudden you came across the Positive Mindset podcast thinking, oh, well, this would be something that made me happy. But then you start listening. And you're like, well, this is different. But you've stayed tuned. You are showing yourself in the universe that you are intrigued by the idea that you have more power than you realize. Don't stop. Don't be someone that just listens and then goes back to their regular life. Then that will always be your experience. You will get to see glimpses of what's possible, but you'll never achieve it. Show up as your higher self every day, and you will receive the results of your higher self. Remember, the experience you're having is the output. The creation you, which is watching, is the input. Always put that first. There's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon, and it's talking about how to make money. It's an older book. It's a powerful one if you ever want to read it. But one of the biggest lessons is pay yourself first. That includes spiritually, mentally, physically, all of it. Pay yourself first because you are the input. Load yourself up, watch the world change, watch yourself create the most amazing experience and become the rising tide that lifts all ships. Well, thank you so much for listening. I hope this episode was impactful and gave you a different perspective on whatever it is that you're going through. If you want to make sure you don't miss a single episode, make sure you subscribe to my email list. There's a link down below. It will keep you up to date with every single episode. And it's just for that. I'm not selling anything in that email. It's just to keep you up to date in case you want to make sure you don't miss. There's also my social media, my Instagram and TikTok down below. I really appreciate a lot of the messages that I've been getting on Instagram lately. It's great to talk to you, that the people that listen, and just know that we're all going through different things, and especially on social media, because you can see someone's page and everything can look normal, but then you start talking to them and you realize like everybody has something. Everybody's trying to level up and be a version of themselves that they're destined to be, that they know that calling's there. And so you're not alone. Please reach out. Please connect. I do appreciate all those. I also am still taking on specific coaching clients. This is a very specific thing. Many of you reached out about my general coaching. That is full at this moment. I'm not sure when that will reopen, but there will be another version reopen. But this is someone that is an entrepreneur, that has a business, or is a high-level executive that can impact their business at a level to which it's possible. I do like saying the price up front with this one because I know it's not for everyone, but this one is a $12,000 investment. I just say that up front. You can still reach out to me. Even if you can't do that, still reach out. I always try my best to help. But if you're an entrepreneur and you want to dive into a program that, one, starts with you, changing your mindset, changing your perspective, changing the way you visualize everything that's going on. And then two, applying that to your business so that you can see it grow in a way that you want to go. So if you're interested in more information, there's an email down below. You can message me there, or you can reach out to me on social media. Either one is fine. There's no obligation. It's always just great to chat. Well, thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.